In this session, we want to discuss the stairs. But before we start analyzing it, I want to explain something to you and also ask you a question. Until now, we've learned some of the tools like the wall, the doors and windows, and the floor. Now, imagine, for example, something like door and window. If you remember, these two had two types of arrangements. One of them was properties, and the other one was type properties. And if you remember, properties is the palette that is always in your page, but type properties is the one that when you click on edit type, you can see some settings. That's type properties. Now, about door and window, what settings did we have in properties? Or what did we have in type properties? Can you say? For example, in type properties, that's right, we had dimensions and also materials. But what do we have in properties? That's right, OKB, or the right way to say it is seal height. We have this in properties too. Now there's a question here, and that's why it has divided these parameters into two groups, some of them in properties and some of them in type properties. Why? Or for example, why isn't the OKB in the type properties? Or why isn't the dimensions in the properties? The main reason is that if we change the parameters in type properties, the rest of the parameters will change too. But the parameters in properties, when we want to change them, only that selected object will be changed. So here we can say that properties is about the separated and single features of an object that if they change, the rest of them will not. But type properties is about the features of the objects in the same type that if you change one of them, the rest of them will change too. That's right. So today we want to talk about the stairs and also analyze the properties and the type properties of it. But before we start anything, we need to know the names of different parts of the stairs. Well, I'm sure you're already familiar with them, but I just say it once to be certain about it. Now, this is a section of the stairs, and as you already know, we call the floor of a stair the tread, right? We call this part of the stair the riser, right? Riser. The size of the tread is called tread depth, alright? Tread depth, the size or depth of the tread. And the height of each stair is called the riser height. You actually need to know these expressions and words, because if you don't, when we want to go for the properties and type properties of the stairs, you cannot recognize them. Alright, let's go to the plan. Now imagine that we have these stairs, and what is this part called? We say these stairs have two runs, so we call each of these run. So these stairs have two runs. Now what is landing? Well, definitely it's so clear. It's the landing, where you land. This is called the run width, which is still clear. The run width. So, as I told you, these expressions are really important. You need to know them all because you're going to need it. You're going to use it a lot when you go to the software, and well, you need to memorize them all so that we can go to arrangement of properties and type properties. So let's go and analyze the features of the stairs, which is properties and type properties, and now we know the difference too. So the features of stair. And just like we said, stair, just like the rest of the objects, includes properties and type properties. First of all, let's go for the type properties. When we want to arrange an object, it's better to go for the type first. It's actually from whole to fraction. So type properties and then properties. In type properties of stairs, we have three main arrangements. 1. The maximum of each stair riser height. The maximum of each stair riser height, right? For example, if this is our stair, we should say the maximum of this height here. Alright? The maximum riser height. How much do you think it is? The maximum riser height? Well, I should tell you that it's usually 17 in the residential buildings. But I say, for example, 18. Why? Because I want to have more space. Maybe even 20. Why again? Because, for example, I want to have a MEP stair. Actually, I can manage this maximum riser height. It can be 20. Now, number 2. The minimum, the minimum tread depth. That's right, the minimum tread depth. And actually, if this is our stair plan, we should say this must have a minimum. Now, what is it? What do you think it is? Well, we know that it's usually 30, but I say it's, for example, 27. Maybe sometimes I want to have a 28 centimeters tread depth. It can be even 30 because I said it's minimum, if you pay attention. Now, 3. The minimum run width, alright? The minimum run width. That, if I want to show you in the plan, it's this, alright? The minimum run width, which is usually 90, but we don't want it to be 90. And do you know how they calculate this 90? Actually, they consider the width of each person's shoulder to be 60 and 30 for the space around that person, which becomes 90. These are 3 parameters of the type properties. Now, let's go to the properties. In properties, 1, the height of the entire stair. And this is actually determined by the level. We say, for example, level to level. Alright, for example, level 2 to level 3. 2. The actual tread depth. Alright, let me say it again. The actual tread depth. That's right. And actually, I will explain it to you later more. Now, 3. The actual run width. Again, actual run width. Actual is actually there. That's what it means. It's real. Now, number 4. That's right, the number of the stairs. Or actually, the right way to say this is the desired number of stairs. Alright? Desired number of stairs, because it's the number that we want. It also gives us the actual riser height. right? The actual riser height. We had the maximum riser height, now it gives us the actual riser height. And actually, this part, this desired number of stairs, has a lot to talk about, and we will discuss it later. Alright. Now, a question. Why do you think that we talked about, for example, this riser height 2 times? Why? I mean, it has a number here and it also has a number there. Why? Well, I can say it's so clear because here we are making some standard, right? We say, for example, the stairs must be like this. You see, we say, for example, all the stairs must be at least 27. We create a rule and then we start drawing that stair. And for example, when we want to draw a stair, we say, what is the actual, for example, tread depth or run width? For this specific stair, we use this actual, alright? In type properties, we create some standards that include all the stairs. But properties is about the specific properties of that stair. And when we say actual, is about the dimensions that we're going to draw in the same moment and the same stair. So, in order to learn this completely, first of all, I draw an example here. And after that, we will go to Revit so that we can understand it better. So, to start, let's draw these stairs first. And don't pay attention to my drawing, just pay attention to the parameters that I give you. The height 3.60, the tread depth 30 centimeters, the run width 1.20. Then we have the desired number of stairs, which is 20. So let's go and draw this and also try some other examples too so that we can understand it in a perfect way. Let's go. Alright, now we are in the software and we want to analyze all of this in Revit. Well, to activate this stair, first of all, we go to Architecture headline and then Circulation, and then we can see the stair. In the old versions, we had an arrow by the stair that when you opened it, it had two types. One of them was a sketch that fortunately it has been deleted because it was never useful. So I click on stair. Now, as usual, we first manage the setting of the type properties. So I click on edit type and then duplicate. For example, the exterior stairs. And then we have the three parameters that we talked about, the maximum riser height. Now in these stairs, the height of each riser is 18, but we want to consider it 20 so that we can have more space. Maybe we want to draw an MEP stair that we need it to be 20, we need it to be more than 18. But we know that the standard is 80, but I consider it 20. Then we have the minimum tread depth. Alright, the tread depth that we want to draw is now 30 centimeters, but we want it to be 27, alright? It's not that important actually. Then we have minimum run width. And in the example, it was 1.20. Now I want it to be 90, alright? And remember that it's minimum, alright? So we managed three dimensions here, the riser height, tread depth, and the run width. And all of them were minimum. Now, the settings in properties. First of all, I said we should determine the height of the stairs, and it should be from level to level. From level 1 to level 2, and here it tells you about your desired stair height, which is 4 meters. Remember something, that during the drawing the stair, you cannot change the height of the level. For example, if it is going to be 3.60, you can't change it anymore. So what should I do? I should click on finish here, and then it tells me you haven't drawn anything. Why would you want to finish? So I have to cancel it and then exit. And after that, edit my level height. And then I go back to the stairs. So remember that. Well, we can draw it and then change the height, but it's not recommended, right? So always remember to check the level height and then go for the stairs. I go back, architecture, stairs, edit type, duplicate. Then it says that we already have this. Well, we made it before. 200 for the riser height, 270 for the tread depth, and 90 for the run width. And here it's from level 1 to level 2, the desired stair height is 3.60. And now we go for the desired number. Now this desired number is going to be 20, isn't it? Now a question. Can I consider this desired number 200? Now you need to answer based on the previous standards. I told you some rules about minimum and maximum, if you remember. So, can it be 200? What is your answer? I'm sure you feel that 200 is a very strange number for this, don't you? And you might think that we face an error now, but we don't. Why? Because when it is 200, the actual riser height will be 18 millimeters or 1.8 centimeters. And did we have a minimum for riser height? No, we just had a maximum. So we will not face any error. But you might think that, so what? What is the use of it? Well, I tell you, it's so useful. And do you think what is the function? Well, I should tell you that we can use it for ramp. You see it? It's so useful, we can use it for ramp. You know, these ramps that are for cars, and that's it. Now, one more question. Can we change this desired number to 10? If it is 10, the actual riser height will be 36, right? And it will be more than that maximum number that was 20, if you remember. So when I move my mouse out, I will face a warning. Now, one more thing. I want you to know this, that what we are seeing now is a warning, not an error. Here it warns us, it tells us something. Now what is it saying? It's telling us that the actual riser height, right? The actual riser height, the riser height that we are drawing now, is greater than the maximum riser height, right? The maximum was the standard. The actual riser height is the riser height we are drawing now. Alright, the actual riser height, that the desired number is 10, is more than the maximum number that we determined. And then it tells us that we need to change this in order to want this situation. So maybe I say, okay, I get it, but I want to keep doing what I want to do. So it doesn't stop you, but it warns you that you're being against the standards you defined yourself. Anyway, the desired number is 20. Here we have the actual tread depth. The actual tread depth, which is related to this stair, it's not a standard. We say that the actual tread depth of this stair is going to be 30 centimeters. Pay attention to one thing. When you have finished these managements and you want to start drawing, you need to click on this run here. and it's usually already activated, but if it's not, you click on it and you see some properties here too. So if you see they're not here, it means that you haven't activated the run. So when I click on it, I can have access to the actual run width too. The actual run width would be 1.20. Now everything has been done. The height I said was level 1 to level 2. The desired number, the actual thread depth, and here we have the actual run width. Now let's start drawing. To draw the stair, first of all, you need to choose a spot to start it. So let me zoom in a little so that you can see the words better. So I go to Option, Graphics, and I change the size of the words. And you don't need to do this, actually I did it so that you can see it better. Alright. Now, check this out. When you click and you start drawing, as you can see down there, it shows you how many risers have been created. As you can see, it says until right now, 9 risers have been created and 11 risers have remained. Now I want to have 210, so I go up a little more, and now that's right. And now I continue this to right a little, and then I click, and that's it. I go down now. Now here I don't need to count anymore because it doesn't get more than it is, you know. And then I click. Let me undo and do it again. So we were supposed to click on run if we didn't have these properties here. The run width was determined, so let's start drawing. First I choose a spot to start. Then you should drag it up. Now we have 20 stairs, we want 210, alright? So I drag it until here and then click. Then I continue that to the right, again one more click, and then drag it down. I've seen some people after they click they start drawing from here, but it's wrong. You see, that's the right way. Alright. Then I should click on finish and it shows me the rails too. And don't pay attention to the warning about the rails. We will definitely talk about the rails, but the warning is not important at all. It actually says the rail is not continuous, which is not important. Anytime you see this warning, just close it. So let's go to the 3D and take a look at it there. You see, this is it. Now let's go and analyze it more carefully and analyze the details. So let me undo. Alright, the first ramp was drawn, but for the second ramp we need to manage some things. So let's go to the properties. But before that, before drawing the second ramp, let's learn some things here too. We talked about the height, but here it's really important, try to understand it. What do we have here? The desired number of risers. Alright, the number of the risers that I want. It says that I have considered 20 stairs. Now, when it is 20, it has calculated the actual riser height based on the desired stair height. Alright, the actual riser height or the riser height of each stair, just like you can see in the picture. So the desired number of risers is the number of risers that I want. Now you tell me this one. What does it mean by actual number of risers? That's right, it's clear from the number. Now we have 10 more left, and until we don't draw the desired number of the riser, the height of these stairs will not reach the desired height. So let's go and draw the next 10. So, while you're drawing these stairs, pay attention. While you're drawing the stairs, where do you think the axis is? Hey, where do you think? That's right, it's exactly in the middle. This is exactly like the wall. But what was it called there? What would we call the axis of the wall? Exactly, we called it the location line. And we have it here too, if you see. Now, this location line has three common forms. Left, right, center, and forget about those two. They're not going to be useful. Now, a question. Which one would be better to use? The right, center, or the left? Well, it has two forms. Either you place it in the space between two rows of the stairs, or you place it by the object that you're drawing the stair based on. For example, you're drawing based on a wall. But do we have a wall here? No. So our location line must be based on that space I told you about. So I delete this, and this time I draw it more carefully and with the location line. I click on run, and because that space is on the right, I click on right. And now I draw. And I keep drawing until I see 10 and I leave it. Now, pay attention. I want to draw the next ramp and I don't want to have that space anymore. I wanted it to be 0. And you already know that based on some new rules and the standards of the firefighting, we shouldn't have these anymore. And it's actually because this space leads the smoke during a fire or something to the top. So we shouldn't have this space. But we practice both. So if I don't want to have this space, where should I click and drag down? As you can see, we have a gap in here. And remember that this gap is a structure by the stair. And we don't always have this. And when you're starting to draw the next ramp, you should not start it from this part, because when it gets deleted, you will have extra space. This is your stair and you need to draw from here. I click on it and drag it down, and it's over. And now there's no space, alright? Now, what should we do if we want to have that space? For example, I want it to be 20 centimeters. When you click on this run here, you see offset. But what does it do? For example, I enter 30 centimeters. Pay attention what it does. Now, when you want to start drawing the next ramp, it places 30 centimeters next to it. Alright, 30 centimeters next to the first ramp. So it can be a very good technique. For example, I change it to 20 and then I start drawing from here, but not here. And in the end, that space is created. So the technique of drawing the space between two rows of stairs is that after clicking on run, we enter a number for offset as much as we need, and then we click on the width of the stairs, not the structure, the width, and drag it until down. And now it's ready. You can click on finish. And this warning, I said ignore it. Now, next subject. In these stairs, actually the ramp, which is going up, places with one riser ahead. And this is a rule. And if you know the reason, well, it's so good. It's even better. But if you don't, just learn this, just know it. Know this rule. In the first session, we said that when you select an object and then click on move, if you don't activate this join, it stretches, right? Do you remember? Now, if you want to move without activating this join, like this, it will have one riser ahead. And even that space for landing will be edited automatically. So, what happened? The ramp, which is going up, is selected first. Then I click on move and I don't activate the disjoin. And then I click. Now, what do you think will happen if you forget to inactivate this join? Actually, this will happen. As you can see, and your stairs won't be right anymore. So, I said that one of the forms of the location line is that it's on the side of that gap between two rows of the stairs. I also introduced another form that I said it's aligned with an object that we are drawing based on. So, if you agree, let's draw a wall first. A wall with any dimensions. Now, inside this, I want to draw stairs. And you will learn both location line and also aligning. So, I select the stairs, level 1 to level 2, the number of the risers 20, the tread depth 30 centimeters, the width is 1.20 and I don't want the offset for now. Now, the ramp of our stair is about to be aligned with the left side of this wall, so the location line must be left, that's right. So I pick it up and drag it until it shows 10. And it's over. Now, this side, I click from the beginning of this and I drag it until here. See? Just like that. And now I want to set that rule I told you about, one riser ahead. Now, why did this happen? That's right, the disjoint must not be activated. Now, if you pay attention, you see this structure of the stairs is aligned with that wall. Let me make it wireframe. You can select the entire stairs and move it. You can, for example, bring this from here to here. So you can move the stairs. Move it to anywhere you want. And I will tell you more examples about the location line so that you can understand it better. Now, if you agree, let's go and see the different types of the stairs. This one was a standard type of stairs with two ramps. And I said you need to create a gap between two rows of the stairs and also one riser ahead. Now, 3 ramp stairs. I select the stair, level 1 to level 2. The number of the risers 21. Tread depth 30 centimeters, the width 1.20. I don't have any wall, so it must be right. 7 risers, so I click and drag it to the top. Now this is one of the 7, and then from this part, not that part, I draw the next 7. Alright, now that rule that I said one of the risers must be ahead, each ramp that goes up must have one riser ahead. So I select move, and then I make sure that this joint is not activated, and that's it. Now some people select this and move this one. Well, it's definitely wrong. So what should we do? We need to select both ramps and then move. Alright? Did you get it? So, in the second ramp, we must select both first and the second ramp together and then click on move. Now, if you agree with me, let's draw a 3-ramp stair based on a wall. For example, we have a wall like this. I arrange all of these. Now I select run, and again my location line must be left because it's going to be aligned with this wall. So I click on left and drag it or draw it from here. How many? 7. You might also wonder how I know where to start from. Well, I will tell you all of these later, don't worry about it now. You can start from wherever you want, it can be edited very easily. So I click here and draw 7 more, and even from here, 7 more. Now let me show you how easy it is to edit. I select this and then click on move, and the disjoint is not activated. So you move it from here to here. Then I select this one and move it from here to here. You see that? Now this one I click on move and I move it here. Now you might think it would be better if it were in the middle. Well, that would be a good idea. So I move this one in the middle anywhere I want. Actually now it's not in the middle. I move it again and you can see now it shows the midpoint. I place it. You can move it anywhere you want, and just like that you can draw 3-ramp stairs based on a wall. Now let's go and see other types. The 3-ramp stairs that the 3rd ramp is on the 1st ramp. Again, it must be 21, and because there's no wall, well, the rod must be right. So 7. This time I want to make that space or that gap. So I write 20 in offset, 20 centimeters. Now, the 3rd ramp is going to be on the 1st ramp. And I don't need the offset anymore either. So I click on here and drag it again on this one. Let's see the 3D. You see? That's it, the 3-ramp stairs that are on each other. Now a question. Does Revit inform us about the heads of the threads if they're wrong or right? No, Revit has nothing to do with the thread heads, and we need to be careful ourselves. Another example is, for example, the stairs with 4 ramps. So I click on stairs and the number of the risers this time would be 24. The thread depth would be 13 and the width would be the same, 1.20. And the run would be the same, right? And the offset would be 20. So 2,6 here. Now I don't need the offset anymore. Actually, if you click on a space, these numbers will be removed, will be gone. I drew the 3rd ramp on it, and now the 4th ramp is drawn on the last ramp. Now the 3D, you see? A 4-ramp stairs that are on each other. Alright, then I click on finish and that's it. After that the railings are drawn too, and that's it. We can also have, for example, stranger stairs, they're weird. For example, 3 here and another 3 here, and suddenly it passes from on it. It's possible to do this, it's okay. The last example I'm going to tell you is the irregular stairs. But what does it mean? For example, I select the stairs and then I increase the number of the risers. and the thread depth would be 30 centimeters and the same width. Now, for example, I draw 4 here, and after that another one to the right, just like this. But suddenly I want to go to left. Now my location line is on right, so I click from here to draw, but I see it's not possible. Why? Because the location line is wrong. So we come to a conclusion here. While drawing the stairs, we might need to change the location line in the middle of the design. Maybe left and then continue. So be careful about it. Now you see some numbers. If you click on space, they will be gone. There's also something else, and that's some people start drawing the ramp from some weird place. You see? Just like this. And actually will not have a good landing either. You see, what is this landing? And why would you want to start the next ramp from here anyway? You need to follow a rule. For example, continue from the rest of this and then change the location line. So remember to consider a rule. Why would the next ramp start from here? You know? Either it starts from here and goes this way or that way with a different location line. You know? No, not from here. It wasn't good. Actually, maybe from here with the right location line, we can draw it like this. So, be careful when you want to start your new ramp. Now, what are you supposed to do? Before anything, you draw that stair with rules and anything, you know, the first one. After that, you start practicing these stairs that I drew. I don't know, the ones based on a wall, 3, 4 ramps, anything. 3 ramps based on a wall, 3 ramps that are on each other, the 4 ramps that are on each other, and until the end. You can watch this video and practice, and if you have a book, then you can practice based on that. Remember that the stair is our most important subject because it's always used. So start practicing.